Let's talk to the caller who's been kind enough to bless us with a call. Hi, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
I'm a former Nortel employee living in California, and I have a pension that I had left and not taken as a lump sum.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm now given the option to take 69% of the pension or to leave it. I'm currently a few years from 65. I have the option of doing either, and I just wondered what advice you might give on that.
We're actually handling a few of those right now, and you can take your lump sum settlement now, and the rest will be determined over the next 5 years, as I understand it. So even if you take the lump now, it doesn't mean you're going to forego what's may be available, whatever's what left. So you have the option to roll it over to a Canadian LIRA, a locked-in retirement program account.
Right. Is there any advantage to leaving it or taking it out in terms of payoff and payoff?
Well, the issue is, I mean, it depends what they get for Nortel and how they can fund the pension after this, when they sell all the pieces of the company, what's left over. You know, some people are taking the view that a bird in hand is worth two, you know, and who knows what the balance of the assets, the net, you know, attributable to the pension is at the end of the day. The Ontario government has certainly come forward and said they're certainly not going to guarantee any obligation on this.
So there's the possibility that if you don't take the lump sum, the amount you get is going to be less than 69%?
Well, I guess depending on the fortunes of the company, but I don't know, and I haven't read the documentation closely enough to say that that's, you know, that they guarantee it. I mean, possibly could get less, I guess, if things go bad for them, and, you know, say they don't get as much as they suspect they might get for selling off certain divisions of the company. And liquidation and so forth. So it's kind of, they're making a guesstimate here, and they're, you know, funding it, paying it out, and then they're saying whatever's left, we'll see what it is year by year over the next 5 years. The two things you want to consider is that one thing is if you roll over to a LIRA and you self-manage it, I mean, if you leave it in the pension, how much money are you going to make on an annualized basis, right, in terms of pension increases in valuation, or compared to what you can make elsewhere, right? It's all tax sheltered anyway.
Right.
One of the issues I should mention is that there is, to some extent, some feeling out there that one should not do it to a LIRA because of the locked-in nature of a LIRA.
He can take his out because he's a non-resident.
Well, there is a provision with Ontario where if you've been out of Canada in the United States for more than 2 years, you can apply to have that LIRA unlocked, which just means you can take it and make it become a regular RRSP.
Right.
Therefore, you don't have all the restraining provisions of a LIRA itself.
Can I play?
Go ahead, David.
Yeah. Do you have a mortgage on your house in California?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can I ask how much it is?
About 200.
Okay, so what are you paying, 4%, 5% interest?
About 3, actually.
Okay, so your mortgage interest as a deduction is virtually valueless, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because you're 3% on $200,000 is $6,000. Add 4,000 property taxes, you're still only 10, and you get 11,400 as your basic exemption. Okay, how much money are you going to get? What does 59% represent?
200,000.
I'm sorry, 69%?
69% represents a couple $100,000.
Okay, so you could take, if you cashed that, if you rolled it to a LIRA, open it up, put it into an RRSP, you could then cash in your RRSP, pay 25% tax, $50,000, have $150,000 and put it down on your mortgage, and
One option?
you could be in a, now this is taking the business away from Dan,
Yeah.
who does what you do.
Yeah.
But in terms of a financial planning thing, that might be a whole bunch of better use.
It depends on whether you're ever going to come back to Canada, whether you want to how old you are right now, how long you want to, it depends. But there's different options here. But mixed, to give you the answer on the Nortel, you know, should I, shouldn't I mean, I think different people are assessing it and taking different, you know, making different decisions in their own circumstances. I should tell you it's a bit of a process to get it out. We've been doing it for some folks and so forth, and they allow redemptions once a month. And we got to get the paperwork into them a month, you know, before the end of the month for the following month.
Right.
So by the time you get set up and get things done, it's kind of a 6-week process.
Yeah, I've got friends who have been doing it.
Yeah.
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 Now, if I do what David was suggesting on a mortgage, I would have to, it's not only 25% withholding, but wouldn't it also be the tax I have to pay here?
No, because your tax is going to be, it depends on what the rest of your income is. You're going to add it in top, and the tax that you pay to Canada is going to be a foreign tax credit. So you might pay, if you're in a 28% tax bracket down there, you might pay 3% or 5% more.
Okay, all right. Okay, very good, thanks.
Going to ask how much money do you make in California?
Well, it all depends whether you're talking about the current situation where we're all taking a bit of a cut. I make about $200,000 normally.
Okay, so you're in a 30% tax bracket approximately.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay with California and federal. I'm talking about the average tax rate, not with the marginal tax rate. Marginal tax rate is what you pay on the last dollar you earn, and the average tax rate is what you pay on the total. You're no more than 30%. So you would be paying 5% more tax on the money that you take out to California and the feds.
Okay.
So you got to decide whether that's a better use of your money or not. But the nice part about it is, Dan Walkow here. How did you happen to phone this program? Have you already talked to Dan, or are you online?
No, actually, my wife talked to Dan, but I wanted to ask myself to get direct feedback on that.
Okay.
That's important to me.
My name's David Ingram, and if you type income tax expert into Google, for some reason or other, I come up #1 in the world. And I've been doing this for 46 years. I had 700 offices in 30 states and 5 provinces, and I spent 40 years looking for a guy like Dan that can do what he does. And I'm going to make an absolute statement that that nobody is better set up to look after your situation than he is.
Well, I've heard a lot of great things, so thanks again.
So there you
Thanks for calling.
And tell your friends and so on, too, that they're better off dealing with Dan than they are. Because he is, if you look at his website, he has got U.S. and Canadian flags on it. And I've had all sorts of people come to me over 46 years and say, oh, I want to do this. And they never, ever, 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 ever have worked out. And Dan has. Okay?
David, just one question.
Yep.
Do you do income taxes for American and Canadian side?
I certainly do. If you've got a rental house in Canada or something, or you're into that position, that's what we do.
Okay, very good.
All right?
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Well,
Hey,
that was
good, David.
That's the kind. Well, hey, you know, well, what's that finger mean?
One to the end of the 10 minutes. And
1 minute to the end of the 10. What time is it?
It is
8:30.
Well, we've been at this a long time, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, let's finish this segment and call it a
Call
day.
it anyway.
We've got ourselves at least 5 or 6 things and we're just putting this on the air because it doesn't matter. This is Ingram at home, Ingram around the world. And we've done okay. We've had calls from Florida. We've had calls from Afghanistan. We've had calls from California.
All over tonight.
And that's what I call it, around the world. We like problem solving.
Good session.
And
that was good.
that's what I like doing. And thank you to Richard, because without Richard doing it and putting this thing together and making it happen, it wouldn't be happening.
Absolutely.
So,
and everything works tonight, right?
Everything worked tonight, yeah. Phone calls came in and all the rest of it. And your emails worked and my emails worked. And thank you, audience, for participating in this. And we'll see you at the same time. I guess we're going to do November 11th, are we? Or are we going to call it a quit?
We'll make that decision.
We'll think. We're not going to, we haven't
post it out
decided
on
whether
the
we're
net
going to do
shortly.
November the 11th yet.